Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American Challenger League Season 2. It's been a great season, it's been a great week, it's been an even better day. So thank you guys for tuning in and joining us here tonight. I want to make sure that you guys know that we'll be right back next week after this week's game, starting Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you like today's games, then make sure to come back next week. But we got to close things out, and what better way to do it than with an absolutely incredible matchup. Cloud9 HyperX Tempest taking on Curse Academy. And important to note that these teams are only one game away from swapping spots in the standings and taking each other's scores. So it's nice to see C9T go against Curse Academy, and here we are in picks and bans. You can already see the bans just now coming out. It's Pantheon, LeBlanc, and Caitlyn, Cassidy, Nidalee, and Sivir. Now, of course, the Pantheon ban against Pat, no surprises there. That guy has just been running clinics on Pantheon this entire season.
And that kind of freed up the one and only flavor of the month, Lulu, for possibly Bishu in the mid lane. Lulu Chu going to possibly come out there, while we do see Elise looking to go over to Pat in the jungle, as it is one of his other played jungles up there. And Renekton going to go over to Rux, as he always plays that too. He does not fear Shyvana, Mundo, or pretty much anything that's thrown at him. But I wonder if we've seen Lomo Nation practicing up Nidalee up top. Could be. He's probably going to go Shyvana, because we don't really usually see him play anything unorthodox. Kind of just sticks to the meta.
Well, Yazuki is a big fan of Kha'Zix's top lane. And while that really doesn't fit this current meta, it's still one of his favorite top laners. Shyvana should be the pick there just to go up against Renekton. It's sort of that immortal struggle locked in an endless battle up top lane. We'll probably see that one, but with Elise usually permaban, nice to see that Pat still gets a really strong jungle presence, which is something that's been so key for Curse Academy all season long. Even when they're behind, Pat still finds a way to keep them in the game.
All right, and we'll see if he becomes Patosai the Manslayer, while Kez looking for possibly Lucian for Altec. That's one of his more played ADCs, at least in the NACL. Always farming, always above his opposing ADC, but we'll see. He could go for Caitlyn still. Sivir's not there anymore. Oh, Caitlyn, I lied. I'm sorry. Caitlyn was banned. So Lucian, I think we could see
Lucian's kind
Tristana?
of I don't know about the Tristana pick. It is something that sometimes you can see from Match Me, but Lucian kind of the king of the totem pole.
They killed the trifecta. What do we do?
Exactly. You can't get Sivir, Caitlyn. I don't necessarily agree with the Sivir ban. It combos in there with Vi, so maybe just taking out that whole strategy with that ban. But what do you do against Lucian? I want to see the Tristana, like you mentioned earlier. Mashme has a great Tristana, but sometimes it takes so long to get going.
He's deciding.
Actually know.
They didn't pick his ADC because he's deciding. He's like, oh, what's left? What do I play?
Nope.
The only physical, feasible thing I see is probably Ezreal, because everybody else lacks the mobility unless you get a kill with Jinx. Tristana has the jump, but that's interrupted by Flay, which Thresh is on the board. So I feel like he's going to go for the safer pick in Ezreal, but you never know. Annie, very, very aggressive, can look for that one. But they did pick up the Ziggs for mid lane, and there's the Ezreal, like I said, because no one likes to take risks. Everyone just has fun and plays the meta. So it's going to be it's going to be Lulu mid, and then Lucian Thresh, the 100% wife steal lane in the bot lane.
No, that's it's the Lelouchian lane. So Lelouch, our lord down there. So it's nice to see that lane kind of coming back. But once again, also interesting to note is that we kind of predicted the Shyvana pick, but still going to be interesting to see the way that Ezreal sort of re-enters NACL. We've seen him gone for a long time.
He loses lane to everybody.
Exactly. You don't pick Ezreal for lane presence.
Nope.
That's for sure. You pick him because he's very safe, very mobile, and as the game draws on, you can always sort of guarantee that he's going to get farmed sooner or later. So we did have a slight bug from Bishu's client, so we're going to get him back in the game. But keep in mind, today, actually, these two teams did face off earlier, and it was a 0-2 victory to Cloud9 HyperX Tempest over Curse Academy. So not necessarily mirroring the NACL standings, but it's nice to see that they have one more chance to go back head-to-head. So we're going to hop back into Champion Select here and see what we can do, because Curse Academy, they're down 0-2, at least for today's games. We'll see if they can come back against Cloud9 HyperX Tempest. They have some very strong presence in the jungle, and maybe some presence top lane as Rux gets his big comfort pick up there. But Yazuki's on a comfort pick too.
All right, so we'll just fly on through this, hopefully, and just get to the regular picks there, as nothing crazy going to go down. And
You have to make sure that you don't ban champions that were picked earlier on. That's one of the struggles.
That's always a bit of a mishap for players. It's like, oh, man, now we got to remake the lobby. But it's okay. They're not an LCS order. That's not going to be a mid-Lucian to get your hopes up. But
like, Bishu, no, it's going to lock there in on the Lulu, and of course there's the Thresh on to Glebe Glarbu. Now Thresh is really the big thing there. I want to see Glebe Glarbu make some big plays, and even bigger plays possibly as well, just because Thresh is that big playmaker. And going up against an Annie, sort of the kind of falling from grace recently, just because she had her stun nerfed, and she also kind of has a lot of counters. One of them, the big ones being you just drop the box and you run away, and Annie has to sort of run slowly towards it if she's not the one first up to initiate. So watching that bottom lane, especially because of the Ezreal, but also going to watch that mid lane as they left Yasuo open versus Bishu. He didn't go with it. Instead went with the mid Lulu. That's a pretty strong statement to make.
And as the clock ticks down, we're going to get ready to get into this game. It's going to be the final game of the night. You know, you see Cloud9 HyperX Tempest taking on Curse Academy.
They did take them down twice already.
Oh, in the ESL, yeah. So that was pretty interesting. We'll see if Curse Academy can climb back in with their one game against them tonight. So we'll go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have that game. But quick shout out to our sponsors down below. You can check them out. Loot Crate, click the button. $13.37 a month. You get a nice little crate delivered to your door. The latest Gamer Geek swag, apparel, and goodies. They have a shirt, which is always themed every month. And this month, it's going to be Attack on Titanfall. It's a little bit of a mech, a little bit of a sci-fi horror fantasy giant men thing. But now you can also check out phoenixcollection.com. Have the latest and greatest and best headset, mouse, keyboard, and mousepad on the market that you can check out there. And then LoL Class.
Yeah, LoL Class, like our other sponsors, doesn't quite have as many giant men as Loot Crate does. And if you're a fan of the man like Dan is, then you can definitely check them out. But also make sure to check out LoL Class as well. You can find them at lolclass.com or by clicking the link right down below the stream. You can head over there, get a very affordable lesson with some of the most popular LCS pros playing some of their most popular champions. It's a great way to learn, and for more information on how to do that, head over to lolclass.com. And also make sure to stick around and stay tuned, because we're coming back with Curse Academy taking on Cloud9 HyperX Tempest in the last game of the night. If you missed any of today's action, you can find it on youtube.com/NACL Esports or on any of our social media. So do want to thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you back here in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the last game of the night here at the North American Challenger League. It's Cloud9 HyperX Tempest taking on Curse Academy. I'm Rapid. This is EGAD, and we'll be taking you through the last game of the night. And what a game to end it with. C9T, they've come out strong already today versus Curse Academy. 2-0 victory so far, but this is just a best of one, so it'll be interesting to see if Curse Academy can come back against Cloud9 HyperX Tempest overall, but it's actually C9T that are down in the standings versus Curse A.
All right, and they're loaded onto the ref. Curse Toaster coming in, and it looks like there might be a bit of an invade here. They're trying to go sneaky. They're avoiding Vision Brush. They're taking that hug across the wall. Zekin, where are you going? It looks like he might be there to flank him off if he runs down. So Altec gonna go in.
A little bit slow.
Forced to start the relentless pursuit, and we'll be able to get out of there. Ooh, whoa!
Wait, what?
Flashed the Q from Ezreal.
I think he might have thought that it was the
stun from Annie.
No, I think he might have thought that it was the Cocoon.
No, that's true.
It actually looks really similar. All right, so flash down. Successful invade.
Woo!
All right, excitement.
Hype.
Altec is going to go ahead and get out of there. And it's nice to see maybe, I don't know, a little bit of extra jitters there. Not a characteristic of that bottom lane at all. Those guys are the ones that, you know, get all up and manly and going in. But that's actually Kez looking around the corner. Jukes out the bomb, but Glitterlance, first blood. There you go.
First blood? No, actually, first blood went down bot. So.
Did they actually hit him, though?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. The very, very beginning. So, all right. C9T, they're down a flash, but no other aggression across the map means that it still should be a fairly safe start to the game. But without all that mobility from that summoner spell on Altec could lead to some early-ish ganks. We'll have to see. But with Pad starting at the blue buff, they'll probably finish red and look for aggression top or mid.
And this Lulu Ziggs matchup, very, very, very interesting. If auto attacks can come up from Lulu, tons of magic damage gets thrown in. But Duosek, you know, he's played mid lane very well so far in the NACL. And I'm pretty sure he knows that matchup already. You know, people spamming that Lulu and solo, you get used to it eventually. But either way, they're just going to go back to farming it out. Nothing crazy until we get those ganks. And looks like Altec and Gleek Blarbos still did get that advantage in lane where they shoved it up. And we'll probably go for the early level 2.
Now, one thing that might have happened that I was just thinking about is that Curse Academy may not know that Altec flashed.
No, I think they don't.
They threw the Mystic Shot out there, but I don't think they would have expected a flash. Altec, though, I think he expected a Cocoon there, so he was able to dodge it out. And it's nice to see maybe a little bit of an interesting start to the game, but should be relatively standard for the time being. We've got Shyvana versus Renekton top lane. I don't think that's a big surprise to anyone. See that lane a lot, because I will continue to see it for as long as super tanky bruisers are sort of the top lane meta for now. So really the action that I'm looking for is going to be this bottom lane. How well does Ezreal sort of come back into the current meta?
We'll see. And I'm interested if he's going to go for blue build. Is he going to play the Ring King Trinity Force? Is he going to go for, like, you know, Bloodthirster Trinity Force or something crazy like that? I don't know. That's not really a crazy build, but still. I want to see what build he goes. I think it's going to involve the Trinity Force, but now Gleek Blarbo gets poked out there just a little bit by Zekin with those Qs, and the Doran's Ring start doing work for him with those early trades, while Rux gets a little bit of damage from turret, as well as those double bite, the twin fangs from that Shyvana, as they hold off on this push here. He's been able to pick up most of this fairly easily, I think. Let's see if he gets it all. One more.
Shoutcasting, CSing, super exciting start to this game.
Oh, I missed it.
Oh my goodness, it was almost so close, and yet so far. All right, well, the struggle continues up top lane, but it's also pretty real across the map. But actually, Lomo Nation getting in there. Of course, that is Yazuki onto Rux, really winning out that trade, and actually has some flash potential
Kez is
here.
there. Gonna look to see,
Kez.
and the knockup comes in for the Vault Breaker, and the first blood goes over to Kez.
No flash even necessary. It'd be nice to see if, you know, when Kez Vault Breakered in, if you just see an immediate flash reaction over the wall from Rux. But no flash necessary. Did get out of there, but got out the hard way. First kill of the game will go over to Kez. And that feel when you back up towards your own Tri-Brush and the enemy jungler's already there. Nice gank rotation and paid off. First kill to C9T. This is kind of the way that game one of the series that these teams already played today went. But coming in here to their first game here at NACL, it's nice to see consistent advantage here. And while they may be down in the standings, still very, very strong as an individual team. Looking to show that strength, starting it out from the jungle.
And speaking of strength in this mid lane, a little bit of pushing in coming from Bishu there. And kind of actually down CS by a really, really minimal amount to Duosec there. And you're seeing some autos get traded out, but Zekin roaming now, playing the jungler, gets the stun, gets the ignite, and that'll be the kill over to Duosec as Zekin. That was a very, very sneaky little move there you pulled on that anti-play. So
you can call him Sneakant, because he was getting up there incognito, got that stun off, and once again, it's the roaming support ganks. It's not quite a support that stays permanently roaming around between every other lane, but it's just 1 or 2 plays per game, the support just leaves his lane. And while that may have a stronger effect on the laner that he leaves, this time around it's Ezreal, one of the safest farmers around there, can always farm no matter if he's zoned out 1v2, and that just frees up Zekin to make these crazy plays, even up the score at 1-1.
That was very, very interesting. I wonder how that's going to affect the lane, because he gets a Chalice, but Brishu has a Chalice as well, but not Boots, so the mobility is going to help him out quite a bit. But Lulu's damage is always so guaranteed with those Alpixes and Glitter Lances. We're going to see Rux after taking that death up top. Pick up a ward, hasn't dropped it just yet, so not worried just at this moment. So going to go around, probably drop it in the brush, and then go back to pushing in his opponent. Meanwhile, down bottom, we haven't really talked about it. There's a bit of a CS lead to Altec. He always seems to secure these, but against Ezreal as well, he can't even extend near them because of a Flay or a Death Sentence, anything like that would make his life really hard.
And while he may be able to arcane shift some of those and disjoint their CC hitboxes, it's still not really going to be what the Doctor ordered. You can see no wave clear until he's level 6, and it's just going to be auto attacks to try to take that huge wave of minions that did just get pushed into his turret. Altec, sizable lead down there, but it's only about 10 CS right now. This time around, it's going to be up to Rux to see if he can get away from this again. Kez, there's the flash we were looking for earlier. Dragon's Descent forced out, and no death there. Rux kind of learned his lesson from before.
A lot of focus in the stop lane from the junglers, at least from C9 side, so trying to help out Lomination quite a bit. We're going to see him fight the Dragon form from this Shyvana here. Dominus has popped out there, cannot dive him though without flash, but he had Ignite, so not going to go too crazy. Save that for probably the next exchange. We do have Elise roaming around, gets pinged out though. So this could be a dive onto the Shyvana here. Can he get the Cocoon, though, is the question. Neurotoxin forces out the flash. Can he chase after this one? Cocoon, max range. Spiderling connect. Gonna be the wild growth to come in from Bishu, though. Beautiful counter gank. And now who's gonna end up falling? There's the Mega Inferno Bomb. Up, zones away for a little bit. Man, Rux is gonna get hit by that Glitter Lance from Bishu. They don't look to chase any further onto Elise, I think. Yeah, she gets out with the help of Ziggs. And we go back to this very interesting and exciting bot lane.
These team comps are not something that's super surprising. I think maybe one of the more surprising things is that Bishu actually got one of the strongest mid laners right now in Lulu. But I don't think it's really going to be him fighting necessarily 1v1 against Duosec, just because it's just wave clear there. Wave clear with Glitter Lance, you got those bouncing bombs, and not a whole lot of excitement there. But where the big plays come are when we start to think about dragons. You've got a lot of zoning potential from the minefields and all the bombs that Duosec can chunk out, but then you also have some pretty ridiculous engage from the Dragon's Descent into the knockup from Giant Growth. So once we get down to dragon fights, and especially if the top laners decide to come down, things are really going to heat up. Not just because of the dragon.
And that burnout, yeah, pretty hot. But a little bit of push coming in from Mashme. He's level 6. Has that ultimate. The calling's going to come out from Altec. He's going to thin up that wave and pretty much clear it all out. Meanwhile, they're just playing that young farming game while Altec is actually leading it. He's going to go back to base, probably pick up a Doran, not Doran's, but a BF sword and a Vampiric Scepter with the CS that he has. So Mashme probably going to look for the same. This is where the point where I decide if he's going to go for Trinity Force or Bloodthirster, and I'm saying Bloodthirster. I really like that spike in damage, but Trinity Force is never a option to be left out. We do have a level 6 Kez, though, on that Vi with the Assault Battery, so that could be the next big point for a play that's being hinted at. So we'll wait to see. Could be a Lantern into a Death Sentence or something crazy like that. But
this is something interesting that only Rux likes to do with Renekton, and while other Renekton players may do it, it's very consistent from him. A nice Lantern, kind of scouting out the bait there. Rux went for a Brutalizer, and that'll definitely help out against the Chain Vest, but as soon as that gets into a Sunfire Cape, it's really going to be rough to handle, because that adds effective health, armor, and of course some extra magic damage there too. So Brutalizer, it's a very strong early commitment.
Magic damage?
But magic damage from the Sunfire Cape. As well as, well, no. I was talking about the damage that Shyvana's going to get. That's really going to mitigate that's the Brutalizer, because it's a lot to chunk through, and just a lot of tanky stats too. Let's see if that's the buy that's going to get Rux back into that top lane. 0-2 has his work cut out for him.
So just back to farming. Waiting. I want to see where the first assault battery is going to be. It could be mid. They can use the wild growth as well with Bishu on that Lulu to knock him up both times.
Bishulu?
Bishulu. Or Luluchu. Or Luchu. Luchu, that's
either way. All right, so Pat's going to clear out some ward coverage there around the Dragon area, setting up for what I talked about was going to be that big objective. Because for right now, we haven't really seen all that many team fights. Maybe there's been some roams, but I want to see everybody group up to really sort of get a feel for how First Academy are going to play this Ezreal composition. Because when you pick Ezreal, you want to stay safe. 1v1 up in the top lane, though, this is kind of an all-in commitment. I feel like maybe Yuzuki can turn it back around. But already just showing that Renekton power, Brutalizer living up to its name.
And pressuring him down to about a rough 800 HP there. We had a little bit of a skirmish around that dragon side, but people getting poked out. They just go back, and it's all good. But still, it looks like the teams are looking for that objective. That is some really good early game gold that they can need, especially on the side of Curse Academy. Flash Gibbers comes in at the Altec. It will be the barrier and the Lantern to pull away from some of that damage. He still gets hit by it, still ignited, and he'll be able to disengage, save his Flash because of that Lantern. So good play there by Gliglarbu. They're looking to still go for this Dragon, though, even without Tibbers or the True Shot Barrage. Now, Bishu kind of whimsied up, looking to possibly slow somebody out. But there's the Assault Battery going in at the pad. He's going to get a Wild Growth as well. Knock him up and take him down. Kez gets the kill, tearing through people, while Zekent runs forward. He'll get taken down by Bishu. Mashmi looking for a kill over the side, but cannot find it. Duosec going to be the next target here, and it will be the Piercing Light to pick up the kill as that was a really, really good fight for Cloud9 team. They get themselves, what, 3 kills there and a Dragon?
And they are all going to get this Dragon right now. Altec just huge in that fight. Nobody even touched him. With the engage coming in maybe a little bit early from Kez, it didn't matter how early or late that was. Kez just got in there, and he was really just there to set up for the giant growth. Huge knockup, a lot of damage from not only Lulu, coming in, Bishu making that Dragon super tanky, but it was also the area of effect slow field just keeping really the big bruiser lineup off of Altec, who cleaned up the rest of that fight. Now we're back to this immortal fight in the top lane, but with one of the first team fights of the game, giving not only that early kill lead, but also the Dragon as well, over to Cloud9, HyperX Tempest.
They're still looking for the first turret of the game, too, as no team has really grabbed that one up. Still, the tier 1 in the bot lane, about half HP. A lot of poke coming in. Blue buff Lucian, you do not ever want to land against that. Stun comes through, though. A little bit of burst comes in. Mashmi looking for that trade, while Altec is going to pull the Lantern and go back to safety. A few more pushes, and they'll be able to get that turret down. They're also going to finish that BT a lot faster there. You see her just spamming out the abilities, healing on up. Kez gets caught up with the Cocoon. Neurotoxin and Spiraling going to chase him down. Going to go back in. Wild Growth comes in with that knockup. They see the Renekton, and they see the Ziggs, and they'll back right on out. As
another
Glitterlance hunts a Pat, but looks like Bishulu, not going to chase it down.
All right, if one more Glitterlance would have taken Pat down, but actually, it's Rux that gets beset from all sides. He's forced to slice over that wall. If Rux had picks on him when he went over that wall, you might have seen a kill on the Pat just off of a Glitterlance. Would have been cool to see, but no possibilities there. It's just a safe and sound blue buff, but a lot of resources spent just to secure that objective for Bishu. He's going to get it, going to head back to that mid lane, and you can just see these objectives are so hard fought. This is really, really good job by both teams trying to contest things, but nothing really working out quite yet for Curse Academy.
And back to the top lane, just a little bit of farming, nothing crazy. And he's got a bit of a CS lead over Rux, which you normally don't see because his Renekton is always on point. So having a bit of a bad game here, but won't let it hold him down. He's going to build tank. He's going to get Sunfire and be that huge monster that they need for the late game. But so is Illumination. He hasn't gone back to buy yet, so probably has a completed Sunfire, maybe some tier 2 boots. If anything, there they are. And wow, I'm on point with those items.
Yeah, in case you guys are not familiar, C9 Lomo Nation is actually Yuzuki, so it did change his name to be quite Troll, but sort of living up to the team synergy, maybe. Happy to be on Cloud9. So it's nice to see the top lane really, I guess, not working out for either top laner, less so for Rux, as he now finally starts building some defensive items with that Giant's Belt, but really the strength's starting to come from the jungle, and that's a really good matchup to highlight for this game, because Kez has really been, not necessarily what helps the individual lanes win, but he's a big engager. He goes into the fight, and like we've seen even before, it's a good idea to go in. He knows he's got the backup behind him. I think it's been said that everybody following a bad idea is better than only one person following a good idea. So it's nice to see them going in, following up, and having the follow-up to having won these big team fights. But for Curse Academy, Pat has really been sort of the, I don't know what you want to call it. He stanches the bleeding, keeps them in when they're behind, and he keeps them ahead, or helps them get ahead and stay that way. So this time around, not having that great a performance, it's just been Kez all the way.
All right. Looking to see, he looks like he's going for a random one. There's a sneaky little push in here by Pat. Could see the flash gibbers to come through. It's up in a couple seconds from Zekin if they want to do it, but Cloud9's lane is going to back on up and possibly lose their turret for this one, but they do end up stopping Glebe. Glarber's back, and there will be a bit of a pause here as, not sure what it is, maybe a little bit of lag from either side. So.
Currently the servers are having a few issues, so if we start to experience too many of those then you'll get to see us again. But for right now, it's paused out there, and so we'll get to see everything right back where it should be. Laners in lanes, junglers in the jungle. And, of course, the no turrets going down just yet, but, man, with Bishu being very aggressive in that mid lane, you can already see him. He's got that Sheen in there, looking for a Lich Bane. Man, Tower's going to start to drop after that.
And sliced and diced in a way. He looks like he can't even tussle with Shyvana at this point. The Sunfire keeping the burnout damage, just stacking up too hard there. And both junglers were bot lane, so nothing crazy goes down. Looks like he's going to keep on pressuring him down there. Burnout going to go through Twin Fangs for the bites, and Ruck slicing forward, trying to possibly bait out the...
Well, he wanted to stun him in turret range right before he backed out. So maybe get a little bit of a trade there, but couldn't really make it happen. First turret of the game, though, will just go down, not off of ganks or rotations, but just straight up Bishu winning his lane. So it's nice to see that somehow you can outshove a Ziggs, take his turret, push him out of lane, and do all of those things that really Ziggs is designed to prevent from happening.
Speaking of shoving, though, Illumination going to be doing that very soon. Maybe waiting for his jungler. Oh, he's waiting for Bishu to get there so he can just dive Rux. And here it comes. There goes the Ignite. There goes the Dominus and the Wild Growth. Maybe going to save his Dragon Descent? Yeah, he will. Little Lance will pick up the kill, and Bishu will go on a killing spree.
Yeah, Bishu, he's not even picking up killing sprees off of his mid lane. He's just roaming top lane and in the jungle. And now Kez getting on a duo stack, pushes him off of that. And that actually dunks him down. There's a nice explosion from that, I want to say explosive cast, but actually the satchel charge. Flash over the wall, follow up. Kez looking for the red buff.
Oh, he dodged the Glitter Lance. Oh, can't auto pick him up.
Yeah, now Bishu
Glitter Lance
lands one more. You just can't run from this.
Autos. We do have Shyvana coming in, Dragon's Descent, but it's like Free Willy, it misses. Gonna chase him down, and Bishu will flash out picks forward, and that'll be the secured kill.
That's true. I want to see like a whale Shyvana skin. Or maybe an Earth Shyvana skin, so you just hear that Earth noise as he dives in there.
I don't know how to Earth, sorry, excuse me. I don't know what an Earth sounds like.
How to Earth?
I guess like a walrus or a seal. Like,
both. It's actually a manatee.
Manatee? Oh.
That's true.
We're going to see Rock selects a kill on Bishu. Ignite gets dropped out there. Wild Growth and turn around. I think Bishu should be able to secure this kill here. Whimsy in a few seconds.
Lance. Where is it at? Backs away.
I'm still contemplating what he would sound like. Just I don't know.
Well, I mean, we know what it sounds like because when Fizz throws out the
oh yeah, that's right. He comes out.
Earth comes out. That's pretty much exactly what it sounds like anyway. So the shadow of a golem is surviving longer than the actual golem there. Both of them will die, going down to Glebe and Altec. One of Glebe Glarbu's Smurfs is Glarb Glebu. I've always wanted to change his name to that and just say Glarb Glebu everywhere because I don't know. Maybe it matters the order in which you glebe and glarb. Maybe that changes things around. So we'll keep it that way. Yeah, still, just one of the best names I've ever said while casting. There are a few good ones out there.
Well, Hula Hula.
Yeah, that guy was a close second, but he'll be glebing his glarbing his way towards that dragon pit. First dragon, and now second one will go to Cloud9 HyperX. Tempest Zekin in the area, but he's not being too sneaky about it this time around.
Cocoon lands on a Bishu, but cannot really follow it up. No damage to secure that. So they're going to just go right on back to clearing wards, getting blue buff for Bishu, and eventually they're going to look to push because Lich Bane is completed up there for Lulu. So they'll be doing an extra ton of damage on those auto attacks when it's activated. So they're going to clear wards, secure more map control, clear out more wards, and they have 2 dragons. They have a 7,000 gold lead, so they're pretty strong at this point.
They actually have 3 dragons.
3 dragons.
Izuki's on the team, but now Rux can't really run away from that. You can see the even just the active from that Bilgewater Cutlass slowing down Rux enough to make this fight continue. Now we're going to see one more auto attack and a few more to take out the kill.
Oh,
Death Sentence on a duo sec. That's not a happy Ziggs. 9-1 now. Rux still running away, trying to kite around the turret. Yuzuki bites off, or twin bites off a little bit more than he can chew, and now we'll be just content to walk the hard way around her.
Ooh. Not attack. Tibbers?
Oh.
Tibbers does come out. It blocks the Death Sentence too. Cocoon doesn't go through, though. Zika flashes over the wall, but nothing to follow up there. It looks like he might give over the 50 gold from that Tibbers, and that is well worth it for Kez, I guess. And that flash was a little questionable.
Somewhat, yes.
Just a little bit, because, you know, the skill thrust didn't hit, and he was like, oh, everybody hit it, go! And he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to back out, sorry.
You know, it's not one of these super mobile team comps where everybody can go over the wall. I guess they all can, but that would have been a lot to blow just to hit up the supports. So, I don't know about that. But still, keeping him safe and sound. 9-1 once again, the kill score for Cloud9 HyperX Tempest. This is starting to get pretty ridiculous. It's now an engagement. Kez just dunks on Pat. There's no counterplay available. He's just, I'm going to click on you.
Goodbye.
And you're going to die. Yeah, so.
You know how funny it'd be if Vi could just ultimate and go up with the repel?
Just like
woo!
Swoops up into the sky, takes him out. Some anti-aircraft fire there, as now Duosex desperately trying to just clear out. The wave does so. But man, Rux is in a rough time up top lane. Finally has that Sunfire cape, but probably needs some extra magic resistance there. The Death Sentence
on a Duosec, and he'll go down. And this game is looking more and more in favor of Cloud9 to making a 3-0 against Curse Academy in one day.
Yeah, 11-1 now. A lot of ones, but not in the right column for Curse Academy. They're still got zeros in the Dragon and Baron counters too, so global objectives just not really coming their way. And not quite a flawless performance, but dangerously close, 3-0.
Bishu has 100% of the deaths.
It's true. Report Bishu for feeding a play backwards right into the team. Pat goes down in the 1v1. Now looks like he's going to go down in the 1v5. Now, a lot of damage onto Glebe Glarbu, but I don't think he's really too concerned about that. Space right back into Bishu, turns him into a little tiny bunny from a big crocodile.
And
Glebe, just stop it, Glebe. They're already dead. Glebe finally will stop it because he does go down.
Oh, he got it off of Tibbers.
Tibbers, you betrayed your own team. Sad to see. Mr. Tibbers, he's turning for the other cause. He's playing for C9.
Bishu bribed him with some of his famous home kimchi.
I don't know. Does Tibbers eat kimchi?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'd hate to see that. A bear eating kimchi, man. That does not look like a very
he's
very
using a fork and
he's
using a fork. He's eating out of a bowl. He's wearing a nice little bib.
Bibbers.
Bibbers. Oh my God.
Justin Bibbers. Skin, please. I want to see that one out
there. He's got a
there.
nice little haircut.
We got pop star Annie with Justin Bibbers. I'm talking about it, man. Riot, please.
Her crush pop star Tibbers. That'd be great.
The best. We come up with all the great ideas here at NACL. So thanks, guys, for being
C9 Tibbers.
Yeah, C9T. That's what it stands for, man.
There you go. We figured it out. It's not Tempest. It's Tibbers.
It's true. At long last, we know what it stands for. But now here's all the engage all at once. And there's the surrender vote as well. Cloud9, HyperX Tempest advanced to actually, I believe, a better score than Curse Academy, who have been first for the longest time, 7-1 through 2 weeks of play. Now finally meeting their makers here as Cloud9 HyperX Tempest take them out. Just have what it takes today. 3-0 on the day, of course, with a victory here in NACL as well. It's looking good. C9T, they are back to what I expected from them coming out. Did a little bit of a shaky start, but finally getting those Cloud9 turbines rolling. It's nice to see them with a win here over Curse Academy. But that's going to do it for our games for today, Dan. So it's sad to leave you guys, but we got to head out. Don't forget, we'll be right back here on Monday, starting next week with Week 4 of NACL. And, of course, that'll start off at regular time Monday evening, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I believe 2 o'clock in the morning for Central European Time as well. If you guys are watching from Europe, then shout outs for staying up late. We appreciate having you here. And we actually want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you guys want to talk to us, we'd love to talk to you. So make sure to use the hashtag NACL on Twitter. We'd love to hear what you had to say about tonight's games. And if you want to follow us personally on Twitter, you can see our links right down below the screen. I'm at Rapid Casting. That's at EGAD or feed. Of course, our wonderful other caster studio is at League of Studio. You can also find NACL out there on the internets at Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, all at NACL Esports. And if you missed any action from tonight's games, you can find all the games uploaded to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/NACL Esports. There's a lot of action there, and if you missed it, once again, make sure to go check it out. Well, that's it for us tonight. So on behalf of myself, EGAD Studio, our live broadcast crew, and all of us here at NACL Esports, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you on Monday.